Hi folk, I'm back again. Well, I added this iridescent white. It's got a pink tone to it though. Ribbon. So I added that round the box, which helps disguise that blue bit at the bottom. I've now picked this elasticated pink flat lace, and I'm just gluing that on round. Okay, so I'm just using my PVA, which will dry clear and works out fine. So I'm just going on with that. Whoops, nearly went into my watered down PVA. I'll lift you up a wee bit so you can see what I'm doing here, hopefully. There we go. So yeah, as I said, I've just been chilling out and relaxing today. My brain's a bit foggy because yesterday was quite a lost day, but I'm getting there, and I don't let it keep me down. It's one of the wee hurdles that you just got to get through, so no point in griping about it. So I have glued right along, and I'm just taking my pink elasticated lace and I'm pulling it slightly because it's just a tiny wee bit short at the edge. When I was trying to see if it fitted, there was about half a centimetre out, so just that tiny wee bit of stretch when I'm doing it will make it meet up. So on we go again with the third side. And I'm putting a healthy amount of glue on because I don't want it to unstick. You don't have to, but I just think I prefer it. So my brother, he messaged me this morning asking me what we were going to do for my mum's 60th, which is the 16th of April. But we have issues within the family. Myself, my mum's only got one sibling, she's got a brother, and to be honest, they're not that close anyway. They see each other maybe a couple of times a year, and it's usually in passing. It's not normally visits as such. But a few years back, my uncle's son, my cousin, and his wife had words with Jordan on Facebook. Now it was quite pathetic at the time, if I'm honest. Jordan was then 14 and he was an absolute handful, but he's one of those ones where at 14, I know I did it, but we didn't have a platform like Facebook. But he posted up, he couldn't wait to move out the house, he's sick of it, blah blah blah, whatever. And my cousin's wife gave him a telling off, telling him that he didn't know how lucky he was and he should behave himself and stop giving us hassle. And obviously Jordan being 14 and being told off by somebody else, he basically said to her, and I mean at that time we were all quite close. My cousin and his wife used to come up to my mum's quite a lot, and they used to take Jaden out quite a bit, if I'm honest. But so the boys used to call them Auntie Lindsay and Uncle Stuart, and we were absolutely fine with that. We got on great with them. So Jordan basically said to her, Auntie Lindsay, it's none of your business. I've already got 2 parents. I don't need a third. And at that, my cousin Stuart then went off in one and messaged him telling him that he was this, that and the other, and he ought to watch who he's speaking to, and remember that Lindsay was an adult and he should give her respect. But if I'm honest, I've always brought my kids up that respect is earned. If someone's cheeky to you, then ignore them. Don't be cheeky back, obviously, but don't be bowing down to somebody because they're older than you. I just disagree with it, because when I was younger there was a lot of grown-ups who basically took the rip. They used their I'm older than you in a way that they shouldn't have. They abused the privilege, if that's the saying. So I always told my kids, if someone's ever rude to you, just say, no, I don't agree with you, and I'll get my mum to message you or whatever. And that way, they weren't rude, but they weren't having to stand and be told off. So anyway, I was in Ireland at the time with Ian and my mum and my dad. So when we came home, Jordan had told us what had happened, and I messaged my cousin and his wife, and I said, listen, I know what happened, Jordan's told me all about it, I've had a word with him, and I've blocked you from his Facebook, because to be honest, I don't want any more arguments over something as silly as that. We've all done it. And my cousin absolutely lost the plot and went on about how he was out of control and send him to him for a fortnight. Now, I'm the first to admit that we had major issues with my son when he was growing up. We still have quite a lot of issues with him, but we had real problems with him, and for a long time I fought to get a psychiatric referral done for him, because I do think that he has issues that have been undiagnosed. I'm not saying that he's a psychopath, but I think he has underlying issues, and has done for a long time. But my cousin just went off on one, and I was like, you know what, he is 14. Why are they arguing with a 14-year-old? Just let it be. We've dealt with it. I've took you off his Facebook, not because you have done anything wrong, but if his messages are going to upset you and you are going to react to it, then it's better that you don't see them. I says, we monitor his Facebook, which I used to do up until he left my house. If he had a Facebook account, then I wanted to know what he was posting, because he was under our roof. But my cousin just took the wrong way of it and went on and on and on, and he's needing proper parenting. And now this is from a couple who don't actually have kids. So that was my first argument, and I said, well, when you have got kids, come back to me and tell me this, because right now you don't have a clue. And I was angry, and I probably shouldn't have said it, but I did. And my cousin's wife went on about how I had went below the belt and how they were trying for a family and hadn't been successful, and I actually didn't know that at the time. I knew they obviously didn't have a family, but I didn't know they had been trying. And I said, well, it's not as easy as it looks. There's not a manual when you have kids. So this went on, and they just gave me an absolute nightmare of a time. I then eventually took a few steps back and didn't message for a few days, and then it just went mental again, calling me every name under the sun. You wouldn't believe the amount of things that they were calling me. And then they brought my disabilities into it. Now, I don't broadcast what I get my disability allowance for, because if I'm perfectly honest, it was nobody's business. But he went on about my arthritis. She says she's got arthritis, gets disability living allowance, yet she can make jewellery. Now, yes, I can make jewellery sometimes. There's some days I can't press the pliers because my hands are too swollen and the joints are too sore. So yes, he's right, I can make jewellery, but not all the time. And I craft round about what I can do and what I can't do. So I had that argument with him, and I said, you know what, you don't have a clue why I'm on disability, it's none of your business. And he started cursing, and I said, you know what, enough's enough, and I deleted and blocked them both. Now, this was a number of years ago, and at the time, because of the amount of things that was being said, my reaction at the time was, do you know what, I'm going to come to your door, but the only thing is, if I come to your door, there's a liability I'm going to end up punching you in the face. And I'm not a violent person, I'm not at all. In fact, the last time I lifted my hands to another person, I'm trying to think. Do you know, I can't even remember. I did have a tussle with one of my neighbours when she was drunk. She went for me and I kind of tried to push her off, but I didn't actually hit her. So I think it was probably high school. If I'm perfectly honest, I think it was high school was the last time I actually physically fought with anyone. But I was just disgusted, and then it just went overboard, so I just deleted and blocked them. But there was an incident a few years back, I think a year ago, that my sister met my uncle, his dad, up the hospital. He works there, and she smiled over at him and ignored her. Now, bearing in mind, my uncle didn't actually know what had happened. My uncle isn't on Facebook. He's only hearing it from my cousin's point of view. And I was quite bemused because my uncle ignored my sister. He totally ignored her. And my sister obviously said, maybe he was busy and he never saw me, it's fine, don't worry about it. But a few weeks later she was back up, and once again she passed him, but this time he was close enough for her to speak, and she went, hiya, and he walked past her without even a response. So at that my sister was like, well, that's it. And I said, well, you've got to remember that's my mum's only brother. She only has one sibling. You can't just write it off. It's unfair on mum. So at that point I messaged my cousin who I'd been arguing with, and I held out an olive branch. I said I didn't apologise for anything I had said, but for the sake of the family I think we need to try and get past it and at least try and be civil, because at the end of the day his dad and my mum were still siblings, and it was unfair for them to be dragged into this through no fault of their own. And I've had no response from the email. So I have tried, it's not that I haven't. So when we were talking about my mum's 60th, getting back to the reason why we were talking about it, I said to my brother, I don't really think we should have a party because it's obviously going to be difficult if Uncle David gets invited. Is he going to come? If he does come, is he going to ignore everyone, or is there going to be an atmosphere? I says, I really don't want that on Mum's birthday. So we've kind of opted for either having a meal out and then book Mum and Dad into a hotel overnight, like a honeymoon suite, luxury, whatever, so they can live it up overnight, really. Or the other option was to hire like a marquee gazebo type thing and just have aunts and uncles and close friends of my mum's, a few neighbours, and just have a party outside type of thing, maybe just like from 7:30 to 11ish, or do you know what I mean, nothing too late. So that was the other option that we came up with. And as I said, I do feel really sad that because of issues with the family we can't give her what we want, which would be a nice 60th, because we've done it for my dad. But it wouldn't be right. I know it wouldn't, and she would feel awkward. So I think it's the best idea. But the good thing is that Mum and Dad are going to celebrate their 40th wedding anniversary this year, in August. So what I said to my brother was that we'll do a big party then, and what I'm hoping for is to maybe even speak to the parish priest about both of them renewing their vows that night, because they have been married a long time and they're amazing, honestly. My dad is just the most calming person you can imagine. Doesn't argue. My dad sulks, and that would drive me bananas, but Mum just gets on with it. She doesn't bother with it at all. So I think that's going to be the best option. So I think that's what we're going to do for them. They're going to Carndonagh for their anniversary, so it'll be the weekend after their anniversary that we'll have a party for them. And as I said, I will speak to Father Eddie and see if he will book them in and do a vows renewal with them that night as well, because I think it would be nice in front of all their family and friends to renew them. Whoops, a daisy, too much pressure. But there we go, that's the outside of the box lid done. The inside I am just going to gesso, I think, and then just paint a neutralish colour, not really sure yet what. Right, so that's how we've done that. Okay, pull you down because there we go. So that's how I've done that, and that's the seam there, but it's not that bad, you can't really see it, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside just now and pull over my other part, which is my base. Right, so for my base I want to add feet to it. Okay, that's an essential. So just get my pearl bag, and these are all my biggish pearls and my fancy pearls that I use for loads of different projects. But I do use most of these daily, so they're always handy. And just dollop of glue and then just set it on. Dollop of glue. And set it on. Have you hear there? Whoops, the daisy. Glad I dropped it, I was just about to lift it. Silly sausage I am. Drop of glue. I think it's a natural reaction though. When you drop something, you got to grab it. Even though you know it's scalding hot bloody glue. It's crazy. The joys of crafting, eh? Dollop of glue. And on. So that's my plan for Mum's birthday. Meal with direct family, just my siblings and their in-laws and the grandkids, and then book into a hotel for Mum and Dad, or a party out the back door with a hired gazebo of some description. Right, that's the box underneath done. So I need to try and find something to masquerade that part. Let me just see how the lid goes on now. That goes on fine. So I think I might actually just paint round here. Just add a wee bit of masking tape on the corner and then paint round it. So let me just see. Because masking tape will take the paint okay. There we are. Like that. I think I actually might go around here with it as well, because I think it will help to ease the paint process when I'm painting over the blue. If I've got a neutralish base coat. Stay. Okay, don't. Oh, it's one of those days. Definitely one of those days. But hey, I'm alive and that's all that matters. So, right, I'm going to go round the top part here. As I said, I just think it will help for the painting. So I've cut it off in smaller sections just to try and help with the going round corners and things. I think it will be easier. There we go, that's that part. So I'm just going to snip the corner here. Not the sharpest of scissors for this project, but it's fine. And then just fold it in. There we go. There we go. Tuck that part in there. And then tuck this part in. As I said, these wee boxes are great for upcycling, especially when they're free. And as long as it's a sturdy box, you'll have no problems. Shoe boxes are fantastic as well, especially kids shoe boxes. Kids shoe boxes are amazing for altering because they're really a perfect size. And they're so well built. They're just perfect. So as you will see, it's all nicely framed round now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off and I'm going to paint this, and then I will come back for a third part and we'll decorate the lid. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye for now.